Alright. I'm gonna give it a little while. I'll give it about like maybe 20 minutes before I go over all the other leaks that I have now. I did so much digging earlier. Like, probably way too much digging. Hello, Rusty! I've got a crap ton more leaks here. Well, I don't know if you'd consider them leaks, really. Some are leaks. Some are content that COA's finally given us. We've got quite a bit here. But I'm gonna wait a moment before getting into that. Well, now I can actually get my stuff done here and suck really bad at the golden fleece. I don't know how people are so good at golden fleece. I'm gonna be real. I feel like auto attacking is the best way to go through golden fleece, or just be a bounty hunter. More money tap, yay! Get my 17 eventually. Oh, please. I actually wonder what bounty hunters are making in this. I can imagine they're doing relatively well. Oh, 11th! Wow! New records. Hold on, we're making new headlines, guys. Oh, I wasn't even that far behind. I want to know how they're doing it. Did they have like a gold rush skill set? They don't. This is just... They do not have a gold rush skill set. Interesting. Like I said, in 10 more minutes I'll go over everything that I have, which is quite a bit, and it's quite interesting to see the future content for mounts we're going to be getting. I'm actually curious how this is all going to work out for us, but We're still a ways away from new mount information. Oh, that's such a pretty color. What the heck? I like that. Alright. Yeah. I swear my tongue wasn't actually out. I swear, I swear, I swear, I swear. Now that I've actually finally got my Mistrix weapon, so like now I'm like kind of like thrown off my groove of what I want to do here. But if that's the case, hold on, let me. Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on. So, here's the deal. With all the future content coming up, I don't want to be pessimistic about it, but wallets are going to be looking a little bit dry. And this is the unfortunate part with the new content here. Is that wallets going to be dry and oh, I feel so bad. I want to say this is I want to hope that this is going to be free to play friendly, but I'm not so optimistic that this is going to be the case. Because on top of having Greenie already coming out right now, we have the 2 Digimon pets, which, by the way, from our knowledge so far and what I've seen people sharing the actual pets are, is that one is going to be an orange pet, so like this gotcha pet here. Actually, I could just show my pets here. So one's going to be orange or yellow, whatever you want to call this color. And the other one is going to be pink. So, that being said, one of them is probably going to break the bank. The other one might not break the bank, if we're being wholly optimistic here. But on top of having 2 pets, we're also going to be having what seems to be 2 mounts on top of the 2 pets. And it has not been confirmed if this is going to be paid mounts, if this is going to be black ticket mounts, if this is going to be like battle pass mounts, but we pretty much have 4 things coming out. And all of them so far are looking pretty wallet heavy. None of them are looking very like, I mean, I guess that's to be expected. New raid that is coming out. I have a video on that to show you guys what it looks like. I mean, I'm not going to go over the entire video because I actually do think this new raid is pretty standard. TLDR on that is like, I don't think it's going to be insanely difficult. I mean, it is a pretty, compared to Queen, I mean, it is an event raid. It's not supposed to be like Queen. It's not supposed to be like Hex. It's supposed to be in its own. And the new CN mount is pretty much going to change the future of how we're going to be doing mounts and what the capabilities of them are going to be. So, actually, speaking of, let me pull all that up right now while we're here. Let's talk about all of the stuff. Let me pull out all my informations. So, let's go over what we're currently knowing about the Digimon. So if you take a peep at my screen here. So, first mount This was shared by COA on their Facebook page. So thankfully they're giving us little tidbits of information. First mount here is actually not going to be a vehicle. It is actually going to be an animal, a beast, a Digimon. I mean, like, whatever you want to classify this as, but it's going to be kind of like a reoccurring thing now where mounts are more like fantasy mounts rather than like the vehicles that we have been getting. It has a skill which is the hunting instinct skill. Its jump distance is increased, and after jumping, it gains a speed boost. So, I mean, it's nothing crazy. I'm scared that this is gonna look like in game. It's gonna look a little like. I don't want to be mean and call it ugly. I feel like that's. I feel like it would be a little mean to call it ugly. But I have skepticisms that it might look a little bit off. But what we weren't shown for whatever reason, what we weren't shown for global is that there is a second mount, which is Metal Garu, which I thought was really curious that this was shared to the CN players, but this wasn't shared to us. I don't know, maybe if they're just like, I don't know, maybe they're like slow feeding us leaks or updates, or they literally just aren't giving us a mount. But CN was shown this mount, which by the way, for the skill, it is going to be the same skill here. It is just the hunting instinct for this mount as well. As a rough translation, it's the exact same thing. So I'm curious, this is going to be the second mount. I actually don't know if we're getting this one because this wasn't shared. I mean, I think we'll be getting it. I'd be surprised if we weren't. But this is what was shown to CN, and this is what was shown to us. So 2 mounts, 2 pets. There has not been any information out on the pets that we haven't already seen. I mean, the pet stats on their own look alright. We haven't seen the skill sets. I haven't seen anything on that. I've done some, like, meticulous digging on it, too. And getting any leaks about, like, skills has not been shared yet. Stats are alright, though. Sorry, I'm, like, drinking water and messing up my camera. But what we do know about the pets here is I do believe there's 2 separate systems. Because when we had looked at the pets the last stream, there was the evolution for every level up. Like, for example, when you have, like, the pet orbs, it goes from 1, 2, 3. For the Digimon ones, there was actually a 4th one. And with every level up, they, like, evolved. With that being said, there was also leaks of the pets not evolving at all. So what I think is going to happen is that the base evolution is technically going to be the pet, and there is going to be a completely separate system for them to, quote, evolve, end quote. So I do think that that pet system is going to be a little bit different from the pet system that we have seen with the evolution. I think it's going to be a little more complex, which is why I'm also not optimistic on this being free-to-play friendly. And again, one of them's going to be an orange pet. The other one is allegedly going to be a pink pet. So, like, Gatomon is supposed to be a pink pet. A little cat. So, I'm so sorry, free-to-play players. I'm not too optimistic. Especially given that there's 2 mounts and 2 pets. A lot of content. Whether or not they're going to be generous about how they distribute this content is the question. Staying on the mount topic, though, before we move on to the raid here rather quickly, is CN. This is probably not going to be introduced to us for a while. And when I had first seen this video, I actually completely skimmed over this video because I was like I saw this on Billy. I was completely convinced this was not for Crystal of Atlan. Like, I was like, this has to be for some other game. Like, I was convinced this had to be for another game. And then someone resent it within the server, that the community server had resent it in. And so I was like, oh, why are they sending this in the community server? Is this not for a different game? No, this is for Crystal of Atlan. This is the CN mount that they're getting. Um, so now we're having flying mounts. This actually, I'm pretty sure when I was reading up on it, was being able to used in Ancient Battlefield, Mine Wars. Oh man, there was something else it could be used in as well. Point being here though, is I'm not sure if this is gonna be like hoverboard type of flying, where like it's flying. Yeah, see this is, I don't know if you can go any higher than this. Actually, maybe you can, I lied. But yeah, so now we have flying mounts. And I thought this was actually, you know what? I'm gonna give credit where credit due. I actually like the design of this. I think out of all of the mounts we have been given so far, this is actually like, this actually looks nice. Like, I like the quality of this. I like the design. I like everything about it. I just am like, it was to the point where I'm not trying to say that it looks out of place, but compared to everything else in the game, this is like leagues beyond everything else. This is like, we just went from like, hey, semi cartoonish stuff to like super high quality like anime, like mythological creatures. Thank you for the follow, by the way. I appreciate that. And so I'm sitting here and I'm actually kind of enjoying this here. Thank you for the follow again. So this is the other mount that Cian's going to be getting. I don't think we're going to be getting this for a while, but it is to push out the future of what mount content's going to look like for like flying mounts and kind of diversity of mounts, which is kind of nice because I was worried we were going to be stuck with like vehicle mounts. But the fact that we're actually moving into like other territories of like not just like static mounts. So there's that, which I think looks amazing. I'm actually super excited for that, but again, I am a little bit skeptical on price range of this. And I mean, I don't think that's an unfair criticism to make at this point, because I understand there is a large free-to-play community, and this game, where it has been friendly-ish to the free-to-play community, I can also see them going into a direction where they're going to lean into heavily paid content. So the gold consignment is one thing, but unfortunately, the economy for the gold consignment does drop. Like, eventually, that economy will drop. And it's going to be looking a lot more rough for free-to-play players to be able to get the paid currency at the same rate that they have been getting it. So when it comes to that and it comes to collab stuff, it seems like they're less lenient on collab stuff being through gold consignment. It seems like they actually want dollars for collab content. Especially given the fact that Tatsumaki was strictly paid, and she was the biggest part of the One Punch Man collab. And then there was the Transform in a Saitama, which was through the Battle Pass, which again was very heavily like, you have to pay for this or else you're not getting it at all. And then what you got for the free-to-play players was like a mount with a face on it. I'm sorry, I thought those mounts were not great at all. Compared to what you're seeing like this, compared to what you're seeing like this, and like this, and like this, the One Punch Man mounts were not that good. I'm gonna be real with you, they were not that good, they were not worth the money, and it was kind of unfair for free-to-play players. Which is why I say I'm worried about the direction that this is going to be going for free-to-play players, because this is definitely not going to be cheap for us. But I digress. That's neither here nor there as of right now. because I do know that the way that we're going to be being priced things is going to be different from how Sienna's getting priced things. At least we're a little bit luckier on that front. Because Tatsumaki had like a 600 pity in Cien for just one. Mind you, they are completely different pets in Cien and Global, unfortunately. Now, let's get into the big stuff. The actual bread and butter of everything we have been able to found? The bread and butter of everything we've been able to find. The new raid, which is the Hamlet raid. Now, I'm using the word raid very, very lightly. When I say raid, I'm not talking queen raid. I'm not talking about 24 races. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking, this is a light raid. You know what I'm saying? This is filler content. Let's just put it like that. This is filler content. This is not anything like groundbreaking. But it is going to be, as I'm talking, I'm going to let this play. This is going to be kind of more of a challenge raid, is what I want to call it here. And we're actually going to be, for once, going against Hamlet, which I do hope with this, for everyone that actually is invested in story content. Here, let me turn this up a bit so I'm not, like, talking over silence. When it comes to actual, like, story content that people are invested in this game, I do hope we actually get context to why all of a sudden we're fighting Hamlet. So, you know, just literally any context to anything. But I've watched this whole 6-minute video, and I kind of amount this raid to being a glorified pawn fight. I know a lot of people are going to dislike me for saying that, but it is really what it is. It is going to be a glorified pawn fight. And I do believe you can do this in group raids as well. This is not just solo. This guy's just doing it solo. So, am I, like, disappointed? No, not necessarily, because it is filler content. So I'm rating this on how I would rate filler content, meaning, hey, here's the in-between before we get to the really, really big stuff. I'm gonna give it like a 7 out of 10. Like, in terms of what I'm seeing now, like, yes, I can see people enjoying this, because from what I understand is it's going to be a challenge raid. As you can see, if you look at this guy's skill bar at the bottoms, he doesn't have his ultimates. He doesn't got any of that. It is going to be a challenge. Like, there's going to be challenges for this. Like, you do it with 1 life, no ultimate, or you do it with, like, 4 skills, or it was, like, 6. You do it with a specific number of skills, so it is a challenge. It's going to give you challenges instead of just, like, hey, this guy's giving me a full tutorial, but it is going to be challenges instead of just what we have with the queen raid here. So I do think that's fair. I do think that's fair. I can't expect a full-blown raid like every week. I don't think anyone should be able to expect that, especially with the queen raid that had just come out. That content ultimately should last us a month, if not a month and a half. That is, like, my time demographic for that, is that's how long it should last us. We should not be able to do that raid right away. It just happened that certain Eudora servers already happened to speedrun the Elite Queen completion. So that is why we are seeing people complete these things a lot quicker than they should, because that's what the whales like to do. But in terms of the average player, I do think that the Queen Raid Elite should last us a bit longer. And then there's Legend, which is, that's its whole category. I actually don't know if the average I don't even know if the average free-to-play player has attempted even Hex Legend. I'm curious to know if a free-to-play player has attempted Hex Legend and has succeeded at doing so. And I'm talking, like, without carries. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's been many free-to-play players that have attempted Hex Legend without carries. I mean, you're not missing out on much. Like, keep in mind, the drop rates for Legend and Elite aren't an insane difference. So, like, there is no, like, massive loss here. But I was just curious to see. But for filler content, this is great. I actually do enjoy this. The mechanics are rather simple. Like I said, it's a 1v1 against Hamlet. The mechanics are similar to Pawn in ways. I mean, it does have little hints of Meridia. But like here, this mechanic, I would argue, is decently similar to Pawn, the slash mechanics. Whether or not I'd consider it free to play friendly is the question that I have here. I'm going to assume with filler content the answer is going to be yes. And I'm going to assume let me think. I wish he showed us what he's currently running right now. I really wish he showed us what he was currently running. Because if that was the case, then I want to assume, I mean, he's soloing this, which I don't think is an accurate representation of things. I do want to think that if this guy can solo it like this, if you've got a team of, like, decently built free-to-play players who actually put the time into their build, it's going to be doable. It's going to be plausible. But yeah, actually, very, very, very exciting for us. This is all coming out on the 21st, by the way. For those of you who are curious on timeline things, the Digimon collab, all of it's coming out on the 21st. So 21st is big update, 2 mounts, 2 pets, filler raid, side raid, whatever you want to call it. And oh, there's one more thing I'm missing. Is the card, I'm pretty sure also the card system comes out on the 21st. Yes. The new roguelike mode. Hold on. Let me, before I eat my words here. Story chapters, I'm going to say most likely not. I mean, unless you count stuff like this, like probably a mild explanation and side story as to why we are fighting. Yeah, so you can see here. Hold on. Let me scroll back to the very end. Okay, well, this just dropped to like 480p, but you get the point. This, all the check marks, all the different challenges. All the different challenges. And this is what we're going to need to complete this raid. So it's more of like a challenge raid. The pets, unfortunately, the pets have been a little bit hard to find any information on. We've seen the 2 pets. We've seen the stats on the 2 pets in my last. I wonder if I can pull these up. Let me pull up these pictures for you. Issue that we do not know is the actual skills of the pets. They've been kind of like skimpy on showing us this. But let me see if I can grab these pictures for you. Figure out what I typed here. Okay. So, pulling these up now. I wish I remembered where my other pictures was. This is the complicated thing with the pets here. So here is this right here. Let's pull this up. So here is one of the pets. And now this is different from what we were actually being shown before. So when we looked at our last stream, we actually knew when, like, we actually saw, like, evolutions, right? So for here, this was actual in-game for the pets. Like, this is all in-game stuff here. And this is where I'm a bit complicated, because last stream we had gone over, there was actually a 4-tier system instead of a 3-tier system, and with every tier, they evolved. Now, the video that this comes from briefly touches on that as well, but the in-game content of the pet, he is just at his first evolution stage, and he doesn't quite evolve. So this is where I'm like, is this really going to be that cheap? Or is this going to be, like, breaking the bank? Because Agumon and Gatomon have their base forms, but with every tier they're going to evolve. But obviously that isn't shown here. I do fear it might be a completely separate system. And if it is a separate system to make them evolve, is it just going to be, like, leveling? Is it going to be like, hey, you gotta pay a little bit more money so you can actually make this happen? And that's what I'm skeptical of. Because the way that CN gets things and the way that CN pulls for pets is completely different than how we are going to be getting things. So, let's see if I can find these evolutions here. I do think out of the 2 pets that Gatomon is going to be the cheaper option. I do think that is going to be what is going to happen here. That Gatomon's going to be the cheaper pet, because they were what is the word I'm looking for? They were a pink. Gatomon was supposed to be a pink pet, is what I'm looking for here. Oh, I wish I had those pictures. They were leaked. I have them in my last stream. So if you really are interested in seeing, like, the evolved phases of them, I talked about them pretty early on in my last stream. Just because there are, like, literally 480 pixels. They're like, it was like 480, 480p. Yeah, I swear it was like super high quality leaks, guys. It was so worth it, I swear, I swear. But if that is something you're interested in seeing, that's why I'm a little bit worried about price point of everything. As for new class, here's my speculation on new classes. Now, I can't exactly sit here and say 100% on timing of new class, but I'm gonna make a speculation and estimate that you can come back to and yell at me later for if I'm wrong. So the next class is gonna be Assassin. That's a given. After that it's going to be Glaciette, and after that it's gonna be Inventor, and then Ghostblade. So I don't think they are going to particularly change the order of class releases. So assuming that they keep the same order, Assassin, so Mirage and Spectre are gonna be next. And those are going to be relatively soon. I do want to believe that we might be getting an update. I say this very lightly because they don't really communicate with us. If we are to get any update on when this is going to happen, it is going to be on the 21st is when I hope they're going to mention it. A new class. But currently, I do think it's going to be... Let's go to our game here. I do think it's going to be when the Mistrix banner ends. Oh, would you look at this, guys? How fun. Mine Wars. Let me switch to my Mistrix class. My biggest speculation is when the Mistrix class ends, the banner ends, they're either within the same week that it ends, or like right after. It's going to be like 11 days. What's 11 days from now? What day is that? What day is it right now, guys? Hold on, let me look at this. Is it the 9th? Yeah, so... Yeah, wait. This literally ends. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was literally just about to say this ends the 21st when the big update is gonna drop. And that is when I think and I hope that they are going to tell us, like, hey, this is when the new class is coming out, or this is the new class potentially coming out. And then they're going to do the same thing that they did with the Mistrix, where they're going to do, like, the pre-register, which isn't really pre-registering, it's you clicking a button. And then they're going to go from there. And they're going to release the Assassin class. They're going to do the same thing. But my estimate is everything is going to be back-to-back. Like, I don't want to get people's hopes up too high, but I do think it really is going to be back-to-back here. And you know what? For those of you interested in the new class, I might as well pull that up while I'm talking about them. Yeah, I do think that's what's going to happen, because they have such a large laundry list of things to go through that they want to release, and because we're getting the collabs at the exact same time that CN is getting them, I, like, am very hopeful that that's going to be the case. So, soon. I'm literally saying I'm giving you, like, within the next month. Within the next 30 days, we are gonna either get a definitive answer on when it is coming out, or we are... I'm pulling this up for us. Alright. Let's go over this. We're gonna get, like, a definitive answer on when it's coming out, or it's already gonna be out within the next 30 days. I highly doubt they're gonna delay it any longer, considering they just came out with Ghostblade, and I would not be surprised if on the background they're already working on a new class. But for those of you who are curious, is the Mirage. This is just the skill display of the Mirage for those of you who are interested. Actually, no. Yeah, this is the Mirage. Now, this is a little bit where I'm skeptical about Mirage. So, unfortunately, in CN, Mirage is not a great class at all. He was a good class. He was a very good class. And then he got nerfed. Really, 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 really bad. He is, if not... I think in CN currently, it isn't Mirage that's the worst, but he is the second worst class. So, at a level 60, what we're at right now, level 60 cap, we are hoping that he is actually pretty good. I do think that for the level cap that we have, he is going to be good. But once we have the full level cap, if they don't fix him, he's going to be pretty, like, dog water. The worst class in CN, from what I'm being told, and what I have been told, and I'm so sorry to those of you who play this class right now, it is a class that currently exists, is going to be the Blade Maiden. From what I was told, Blade Maiden right now in CN is the worst class. Now, I can't 100% confirm that, but a lot of people who've played on CN, a lot of people who talk to CN is their consensus is Blade Maiden and Mirage, which is really unfortunate. Cloud Strider, though, I do think, Cloud Strider, okay. Right now, Cloud Strider is probably one of our best classes that we currently have. I mean, it depends. Cloud Strider right now, in CN themselves, I don't think she's bad, and I don't think she's, like, insanely amazing. She is, like, a good class. I don't think that she's, like, the worst. They said, when I talk to CM players, and mind you, this is the information coming from CM players, so don't let my word be the final, like, this is the Bible, this is Bible here. Because, again, this could all change with whatever, because we are getting different updates that CN isn't getting, by the way. We have gotten different nerfs, we've gotten different buffs that CN does not have. So, take this with a grain of salt. I'm talking currently. Cloud Strider is not a horrible class. Cloud Strider is not an amazing class. Cloud Strider is just a good character. Like, I just want to say run-of-the-mill good character. It's a good character. She doesn't break any walls or anything. But, I mean, she's not down there with Mirage and Blade Maiden in future content. Berserker, unfortunately, for all my Berserker players out there, it's not looking too hot. I mean, it's not even too hot for you guys currently. Right now, Berserker, it's a tough day to be a Berserker. Right now. And it's going to continue to be tough. My condolences to all my Berserkers out there. Man, this is rough. But, okay. Here's where I'm being optimistic. Here's why I'm being optimistic. Keep in mind, we are getting different nerfs and buffs that CN hasn't quite gotten. So don't be, like, too discouraged currently. I am still under the premonition of, like, hey, play what you want to play at the end of the day. But I just know that, like, there's going to be, like, a little bit of a struggle for more classes like Berserker and Mirage, if that is the direction you want to go. And while I'm talking about this, let's look at the Spectre, have this playing in the background for y'all who are genuinely curious. This is the better of the assassin classes, by the way, that is coming out currently in CN. That being said, I don't think for our current level cap it really will matter too much. Scytheguard is and will always be a good character. Like, I know people, like, here's the thing, is that I don't think any class is particularly awful. I truly don't. If you're asking me, every class serves a purpose, which is why I say don't feel discouraged when I'm telling you what the meta is currently in CN and what they consider to be kind of bottom of the barrel type of stuff. Because every class does serve a purpose. Berserker, I mean, let's be real, it's an insane tank. I do think it's really important to have a Berserker. But classes like Scytheguard will always be good. Simply because she's, like, going to remain one of the best support healing classes, which in of itself for raids is, like, insanely important, no matter what skill cap you're at. So I don't think you're gonna have to worry there. But if you're a meta player who's worried about, like, what I'm playing for the meta, what I'm going to do for the meta, then, like, I don't want to discourage you, but this is what they would consider meta. I just don't think it is going to be what we have as a meta here in North America, or even EU. So, Spectre and Mirage, for now, at our current level cap, are not going to be any different. Like, I do think that these are both going to be playable and fun characters at level 60. I even think they're going to be playable and fun characters at level 70. But once we hit that level 80 cap with the nerfs that CN got, if they do not fix those nerfs, and they decide to not fix them for CN, and they decide not to fix them for us, Spectre will ultimately remain the better class for assassins. I'm so sorry for the users who wanted to play Mirage, but that is what the current climate of it is looking like. Berserker is not a bad class. It's just my condolences to Berserker players. He needs a buff badly. And I'm not talking PvP. PvP, I think he's doing phenomenally at. But PvE-wise, man. It's a tough day to be you guys, really. It's brutal. Just, yeah, I do agree. Play whatever you want to play and have fun. But if you are curious on what the actual ranking is of what people consider good, it's just like Mistrix in CN. She's a good character. I think she falls under the same line as Cloudstrider. Like, she's not like god tier. She's not awful. She's a good character. That's a good choice. I do think Glaciette ends up becoming a really insanely good character in CN. Inventor. Inventor. That's the class where that's the class, you know what I'm saying? Inventor is going to be a formidable opponent in every single capacity. For those of you who haven't seen Inventor, by the way. Or here, let's go over Glaciette since she's like right here. Glaciette's a new puppeteer. She's coming after Assassin. If we're going in the same timeline of things, she is a very good class. Like in CN, she is a very good class. She's a very fun class. I mean, let's be real here. But Inventor, alright, which I will show after this. That's a class that in every capacity is going to be a problem. I'm sorry, when PvP and Inventor finally cross paths, I don't think anyone is going to be happy about that, especially with how big PvP is in NA and how competitive our competitive players are. I do think it is going to completely change the direction of how our PvP works. And so is Glaciette. Glaciette also does become a like, I don't want to call them a problem, but they, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to become a frustration in PvP. And I mean, like, I guess this goes on the line of, like, favorite child syndrome here, is that it's very obvious who the favorite kids are of the class, and it is these two classes, or characters. I mean, Glaciette, in terms of, like, favoritism, is gonna be, like, Scytheguard on crack. So, my condolences again. But there are classes that we currently have that do stay good. I mean, Magiblade, very good class. I know a lot of people don't like Magiblade, but I'm telling you now, very good class in future content. Awesome class to be playing. A lot of people in CN do prioritize running Magiblade just because of his attack speed, just because he's an insanely fast class. We have Scytheguard, who obviously remains a very important class because it's the Scytheguard and that's our healing class. We have Magician. Actually, a lot of people are sleeping on Magician now. Good news for you Magician players. It's not always gonna look so rough for you guys. I know there was this big stigma with, Magician remaining a bad class, but no, Magician is a loved class in CN. Okay, so when it comes to class switching, here's the thing, is that you can change from Mistrix now. I'm pretty sure it's a 2-week period, if I do remember correctly. So when a new class releases, so let's give an example. When Assassin releases, you will not be able, well, actually, Assassin's not a good example because he's a whole new class. Let's use Mistrix as an example. Yeah, so Mistrix is a subclass of the Musketeer class, right? So if you previously had a Bounty Hunter, if you previously had a Gunner, for the first 2 weeks, I believe it was, you were not allowed to switch sub-characters because that is a current option that you have. But after the 2-week period is up, you can switch sub-characters. I do believe it was 2 weeks. I don't know if they changed it for us. Now, when Assassin, yeah, a month and a week and a half, okay. Because there was a 2-week period for certain things. But when the class lock is up, you can switch. Now, here's where Assassin is going to differ. Here's where new classes are going to differ. So there is a whole new system, and it is actual, I want to call it not subclass switching, but class switching. And it is expensive and will continue to get expensive. Very expensive. So, oh, man. So, let's go. Let's say I'm a Cloud Strider right now, and I want to end up switching to Glaciette, okay, in the future. What's going to happen is I'm going to have to pay the equivalent of anywhere between, I'm pretty sure it was $100 starting. The $100 worth of paid currency. And this can be used for gold consignment currency too. So if you have gold consignment currency, it's $100 worth of the gems in order to switch class completely. Now, currently in CN, that does not switch your weapon. That switches your class. That switches your level 60 gear to be the level 60 gear of the other class. So if I have all level 60 Cloud Strider gear, it's going to switch to be all level 60 of Glaciette gear. And for circuits, if I have a M attack circuit, and let's say Glaciette uses P attack, physical attack, it's going to switch from being an M attack circuit to being a physical attack circuit, which is nice. Which is very, very nice, because I absolutely despised having to grind circuits all over again. But what isn't going to switch is the weapon. Let me break my camera so I can keep yapping while I drink water. And I will show you why this is going to be the case. Because it's still here currently. They have a completely different system for weapon swapping. And this is a system that currently exists. Now, mind you, the first class switch is $100 worth of gems. And I say the first because every single time you class switch, the more expensive it gets. I do believe every single time you class switch, it doubles in price. So it goes from being $100 to class switch to being $200 to being, I think, $400. It keeps going up. And you can only do it so many times. I'm pretty sure there is a limit. I'm pretty sure it's like a 5 limit. I could be wrong. Or it could just infinitely go up until we're broke. But it switches your gear, but it does not switch your weapon. Because over here... Alright, we have the... yeah, okay, I was right. It does essentially double in price. Okay, perfect. At least I wasn't wrong there. Is the weapon switching. Here's the issue. Is that obviously because we don't have class switching, it becomes a little bit more complicated. But currently in CN, with the translation that we've been getting, it's been a little bit rough because you do need to get a CN account in order to see anything on CN. And the people in NA who do have a CN account don't particularly speak Chinese very well. And so it's a little bit of rough here. But to our knowledge, it is 200 hex chest Zerium to switch your weapon. Which with current market rate... Last time I calculated was not when people were selling it. I do believe at current market rate it is another $100 worth of gold. Or was it a little bit more? Last time I calculated it was $100 worth of gold. I could be completely wrong because with the Meridia raid, the market of Hex Chest Zerium might have increased. But at the time of me looking, which was before Meridia raid, it was going to be another $100 to switch your weapon. Now, for late game, when all of the classes are being released and stuff, that is going to be looking a little steep because we are going to... It's... If you want to switch to Assassin, I think that's a good thing. because we're so early on in the game where I don't think using the weapon swap is going to be worth it if you are completely class changing. I do think if you're asking my opinion, straight up just regrind the weapon. Seriously, just regrind the weapon. If you're wanting to class switch to Mistrix, get a Mistrix alt, regrind the weapon, save up your hex pieces. I know that puts you a little bit behind in terms of other things like your current class. But again, if you're like someone who's worried about money, thank you for the follow, by the way. If you're someone who's worried about money, then just grind out the weapon. You're still not going to fall too far behind. But late game is when Ghostblade comes out and Inventor comes out, then we're really going to have to see like how tough this is going to be. Yeah, I do stream. I do. Although I do believe in the future, Hex Trestazurium is just going to ultimately drop in price. So it might not be looking too steep as like $100 to weapon swap. It actually might be looking like semi-realistic. So yeah. If you're early class switching to like Assassin or to Mistrix, just regrind everything. Seriously, just make a Mistrix alt and regrind your stuff. But if you're late game, I think my estimations on that is Hextazirium is going to just drop in price, and you aren't going to have to worry too much about that. That being said, Class Changes itself is going to come out, in my estimation. Again, take this all with a grain of salt. I'm going off of CN timeline. I'm going off of my big brain knowledge here. That is going to come out after the assassin class is unlocked to be switched to. Because, guys, I've got so many leaks for you. Let me get the other leak. Let me get the CN timeline for you guys. Because timeline-wise, class switching in CN came out after the lock was released on Assassin. So, looking pretty optimistic there. Here we go, whipping this up. So. Look at this, guys. We've got the whole CN timeline. But yes, if you guys were curious about this, by the way, this is the CN timeline. And it looks like they are continuously updating it to this day. So here we have July 10th of 2024 is when Assassin was released. And July... This is outfits. Let me actually go to pets. I wonder if they actually ended up... Ah, here we go. Card system, I do believe. Yeah, here's the card system. This is also what we are getting here on the 21st, I do believe. Card system. New cards. June, July. First anniversary. Here we go. Class Change. Also came out equally around the same time that Assassin came out. So I do think once we get Assassin, this is going to come out pretty quickly. Although, keep in mind, this keeps getting expensive with every single purchase. So if you're like sitting here and is like, I will spend $100 now to change to a new class that is currently out, but in the future, I want to change to, let's say, Inventor. Just know, it's going to cost you more to do so. So if there's a future class that you are wanting to switch to, like Ghostblade, I say just tough it out until then. To be fair, we are getting everything at a insane, like, rate here, regardless. So I wouldn't be too worried about, like, timelines of things. Like, as you can even see here, there are certain things that we got in insanely early, like first year anniversary here. You can say, where's it? The beach outfit. Well, look what we got now. So certain things are going to be circumstantial, but overall, I do think we are going to be getting similar timelines of things, because I do want to look up here. Interesting, interesting. But, like I said, I wouldn't worry too much about changing classes now. Also, all the CN pets are so cool. I'm like right in the way of this. Let me turn myself off for a second, guys. Take a look at these CN pets. Tell me these are not the coolest things ever, dude. Like, I really do dislike I really do dislike the Christofox. I really do dislike Christofox here. And then we've got Greenie here right above me. But look at this guy. Tell me this guy's not like way cooler. Tell me this is not like way cooler. Let me scoot over here. Tell me these guys aren't like way cooler. Although, do keep in mind with future content, because I know people like me are curious about stuff like that was the loudest noise I've ever heard. There's like construction going on behind me. Holy moly. Anyways, I do know with I feel so bad. I feel so bad saying this because I'm like an outfit person. A lot of the future outfits we are going to be getting are recolors. They're not actually new outfits. They're just gonna be recolors. There is new outfits. I'm not trying to like shoot that down, but let me move myself back over here in the corner. I'm like trying to work with the construction I hear going on. They are going to be recolors. So the Scarlet Right outfit, actually, does this have a direct video link? That'd be awesome if it did. Can this show us? Yeah, so I don't want to be pessimistic about things, but they are pretty much okay. Here we go. Scarlet Right outfit. Does this look familiar to you guys? It's the PvP outfit. This doesn't look familiar to you. It's just a recolor of the PvP outfit. So I don't want to be like the bearer of bad news, but this is going to be like a reoccurring thing here that we're going to get in the future, is that the content that we're going to be getting in terms of outfits, some of them are really just going to be recolors of things. Like the Scarlet Right is... So if you were like sad that you can't get the PvP outfit, don't worry guys. You can get the PvP outfit. And for those of you who grinded really hard to get the PvP outfit, sorry guys, everyone else is going to be able to get a recolor of the PvP outfit. Don't worry guys. Equal opportunities for everybody. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. This is... And I don't want to be that person, but like the Scarlet Right outfit kind of just looks way cooler than the PvP outfit. Like, I know it's the exact same thing, but the colors, I like the colors way more. I really, and I mean, you're gonna be able to recolor them. So let me scoot myself over here as we go through these. Christmas outfit, I don't think we're gonna be getting... Actually, I do think we're going to be getting this around Christmas time. I don't think there's anything to worry about that. The Scarlet Right outfit, I have a sneaking suspicion that this is potentially going to come out on Halloween. That's going to be my estimate there. Also, yes, if you've been thinking about getting into COA, very much worth it. I'm not trying to toot the horn of the, game that I play here. This game does not love me as much as I love it, but this game is a very fun game and a very worthwhile game to get into. I recommend it. I'm not just saying that. This outfit here. This one right here, the one that I'm looking at that's right beside me. future content outfit. I actually do enjoy this outfit. Very cool outfit. In CN, this outfit's actually just available in shop to buy. I do believe it's like 5,000 gems. I'm pretty sure. It is available just straight in shop to buy. I don't know if they're going to do the same thing with us because, believe it or not, with the Wilderness Lord outfit in CN is not a gacha outfit at all. This outfit is just straight available to buy in the store. And what I mean by that is... I'm switching everywhere. What I mean by that is if I come here, and I come to the store here, these outfits... So the Blazing Wilderness outfit in CN just becomes one of these. So I'm curious if they're just going to switch future gacha outfits into being purchasable outfits. Especially like A tier, B tier outfits rather than the SS tiers. But that is going to be a thing. But for the this one right here, the Moyan outfit, that one just is straight available to buy in store. But I do think for us, it's going to be a gacha outfit. Wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, but it is a New Year's outfit. I have a sneaking suspicion it's going to come out around the same time for us. It's going to be a New Year's outfit. The Twilight outfit, obviously, we ended up getting that for free for the 7-day check-in. The Oath to Heaven outfit, which is the one that everyone's been, like, super excited for. That is, like, the really, really fancy ice outfit. That one, I do think... I want to speculate on a time frame for this, but I really can't. I want to hope that they're going to release this one earlier because it is kind of like their big outfit. Like, this is like the... Wow, this is like the creme de la creme. So there's the Oath to Heaven outfit. There's the beach outfits, which we've obviously gotten all 3 variations of those. The Astral Messenger ended up being one of our gacha outfits. That actually sits in the store for CN. Yeah, the ice fit it's very, very gorgeous. The New Year outfit here, the Snake New Year outfit, I'm curious if they're going to leave these as Chinese New Year specific outfits. I actually do think Global is probably going to get some stuff for Chinese New Year as well. If not our own New Year's. I still do speculate that their New Year content is going to be more oriented towards coming out during Chinese New Year rather than coming out during our New Year. Neon Tide is currently the outfit that is now out in CN for... That's like streetwear stuff, by the way. Neon Tide outfit is what's going to be coming out in... I want to say that's going to be the late outfit that we're going to be getting. I don't think we're going to be getting that anytime soon. And then we obviously have the summer outfits that we also got. And now we can go over raids here. I'm just taking you all through this really quickly. Just so, like, I do know a lot of people haven't seen this timeline page. And it does give kind of, like... I do know a lot of people have either, like, dipped away from playing COA because they were worried that content isn't being pushed fast enough. Or that the content, like, what are we even getting? Because the devs themselves aren't really communicating with us anything. Which is why I decided to take it upon myself to go over the timeline with everybody and kind of push out the leaks that the devs refuse to give us. So I do think it should be fair to everyone to know the content that we're going to be getting. But in terms of raid, we obviously got the Queen Meridia raid, which is our most recent one, and we got the legend mode for that. So I want to say raid timeline is once every month. So that's what I'm going to hope that they're going to be doing. Is it's either going to be like once every month or they're going to try to push out filler content. I see like August, October, November was filler content because they ended up releasing the legend mode to the Lost Ruins. But for us, the filler content right now is going to be the Hamlet raid here. So, I mean, I want to say a raid's going to come out at least once a month, once every month and a half. That's going to be my estimate. So there is content to look forward to, because you do need to give free-to-play players time to be able to actually even complete the elite versions of this. Because I think the big struggle we're having right now with NA that a lot of people are kind of feeling the repercussions on is servers. Servers. I do not know why they decided to open up 10 Eudoras on top of Jom, on top of all of this, but there are certain servers that are downright dead. And the players that chose to participate in those servers are struggling to complete raids. So, this is the unfortunate part of things. We can switch back over to the game real quick. I wonder if I can even still view this. Okay. So, the 1K clears. I'm in Eudora 1, so these 1K clears were completed within a couple days. 1,000 people cleared within a couple of days. Now, the reason that this was done for us in Eudora 1 is not only because it is one of the most heavily populated servers, we also have a fleet and multiple people that carry these, because obviously they want the fragment boxes, they want the chess pieces, but the most important thing here is these buffs. And now what we're seeing in Crystal of Atlan that is becoming a problem is that server population ends up hindering these types of content pushes. So with Eudora 1, my fleet eminence, we had a bunch of people that grinded out and pushed this content within a couple of days. Our mega whales gathered people. Me within the community server, I was pushing this very heavily. I was like, give us your alts, give us everything, and we could do it within 3 days. Now, we attempted to do the same thing with other Eudoras. Here. And I do think that the last Eudora we tried doing this with was Eudora 6? I do believe it was Eudora 6. We ended up trying to do it with another fleet. And the issue wasn't the fact that there wasn't whales willing to carry this push. It was because there literally was not enough players on the server to even do this. To do this 1K clear? Like, there was nothing. Like, it took 5 hours to complete the Queen raid, like, 5 times. They could get, like, 1 group an hour. And that's, like, that's not even, like, we don't have carries to do this. This is, like, we don't have people to do this. We don't have anyone that can fill up these lobbies. And it's rough. And believe it or not, for those of you who didn't know this, there are Eudoras that have not even completed the Hex Chess. This Hex Chess buff, by the way, there are Eudora servers that have not even completed this. There's still people that have not Eudoras that have not completed the Hex Chess buff. And you know why this is a problem? Actually, it was just said in chat. You know why this is a problem? Because the Glen Cup uses these buffs. The Glen Cup uses these buffs. As far as we know, there is no restriction on these buffs in the Glen Cup. So, I don't know why that was made a thing. Or, like, I feel so bad. What the game needs to truly address is server merging. I wholeheartedly do think server merging should be a thing, because this is becoming an increasingly difficult issue where people cannot complete the 1K clears. And the reason that these 1K clears are so important, aside from reasons like competitive reasons, these buffs is what makes these things doable currently for free-to-play players. Like, truthfully, like, yeah, thank God the buff does not apply for Legend. But for free-to-play players, even without the competitive nature being introduced, this buff is the difference between free-to-play players and like whales being able to complete this stuff without carries. It's like it really is that important. I know, because even I'm a whale, and a lot of the people that I play this game with, we're all whales, right? So we, like, most people don't think about how important this is for the average player who really just wants to play this game. And I do think for a game like this, it is so important to help your free-to-play players, because that's the game. Like, yes, we boost the economy as whales, but what is going to boost the player base is the free-to-play players who want to enjoy the game casually. Our casual players are so important. Yes, it's hard to do Queen Elite without a carry. I do agree as a free-to-play player. You guys are the bottom line, and I do argue you guys are as important as anyone else because you are the player base. You are the casual players. You are the people who want to enjoy the game casually. And if people can't even clear this 1K clears because of server population, you know what's going to happen? People are going to quit. And we've already seen that. And whales also quit because whales are like, I'm on a server where no one is playing right now. Like I can't do anything. I can't participate in things. My fleet is struggling. So I do think server merging is going to be the next big push that I do think that the player base should push back on, truthfully. Like, I don't want to tell people to complain to game devs, because I'm like, I don't want to dogpile game devs. Because I do know how hard it is to just, because like, this is the industry I work in. Like, my job is to work on video games. But I'm also saying, as like, players, either needs to be, maybe I just need to start a petition or something. But I do think if you ever do these surveys, if you're ever writing reviews to the game devs, I do think a large portion of us really do need to complain about server merging. If you've ever thought about something to complain to the devs in those surveys about, I do think complaining about server merging is the most important thing for the longevity of this game. Because there are some amazingly helpful players, there are super nice players that can't get anywhere because they got dealt a really crap hand. We need 4 to 6 Eudora servers max with our current player base. And what a lot of players don't even realize is now there is beyond Eudora. It is not just Eudora 1 to 10. It is also JOM. NA also has JOM servers. And I didn't know that until I had the nicest JOM player be like, hey, I'm playing on JOM. And I was like, what the hell is a JOM? Yeah, there's Ellie servers too. I was like, what the hell is a JOM? I was like, is that like EU? I was like, you guys, I'm like, I don't think we can play with EU. And they're like, no, it's NA. And I was like, what do you mean it's NA? Actually, I think we can even see it on the ranking leaderboard. I saw a couple. Oh wait, I'm looking at, hold on. Yeah, see, we've got Ellie here. We've got Ellie here. Another Ellie. There's JOM here. Oh, I'm like completely covering it. Hold on. Look at this. Okay. You've got Ellie. These poor people. They're stuck in like dead servers. Like, this is not fair. And like, the thing is it's like, I want to say, oh, this technology is like super hard to achieve as a game. It's not hard to achieve. They are doing that with the South American servers. They've openly offered to transfer South American players from NA servers to South American servers. But the thing is they're literally not even responding to that. Like, I know South American players on the North American servers who want to move. They're like, hey, I want to get out of here. The lag sucks. Like, we want out. We want out. The lag sucks. And the game devs are like, okay, tell us you want to move, and we'll move you. And I want to point out the fact that this offer was made like a month ago. There are people that have still been sitting here waiting for their accounts to get transferred. Waiting. Just sitting here, chilling, waiting for anything, and they still have not replied. I don't think the game devs really understand how important it is that we are all either pushed to the proper servers or merged. Point blank period. Like, it shouldn't even be an ask. Like, I think that everyone should just log in one day, like, who is not on Eudora 1 through 6, and it should literally give you the option, hey, we are moving you to a Eudora server. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pick one. And then boom, just move them. Just the technology is not hard. As someone who also helps develop games, this is not a hard task. Like, normally I'd be like, oh my gosh, it's like so impossible. Like, it's a lot of work. It's not hard. Especially with the budget that this game has. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. It's like, it's unfortunate. And that is my biggest gripe with the game. Because when I'm going over this future content with you guys, like, when I'm going over this content here, right? When I'm going over raid content with you guys, I don't think you understand, if this is being pushed out once a month, it is going to be impossible for the other servers to catch up. Because there are servers out there that, again, have not even completed the 1K clears for Hex Chess. Hex Chess. I know free-to-play players who can clear Hex Chess, like, easily. Like, you don't even need a carry. And that is because of those important buffs, right? And there's servers out there that are still, their free-to-play players are struggling because they need their carries to still help them through it so they can get the chess pieces, so they can get stronger. Like, this is not even just a matter of, like, completing a raid. This is like, hey, this is needed for us to get stronger. Yeah. Yeah, I do know. Yeah, some people were even asking for server transfers and they said no. So, TLDR of my entire rant here, I do think that next time you guys see a survey, next time you guys open tickets for anything, I do think this does need to be somewhat of a community effort of putting them in a position of understanding how important server transfers are. Like this, if they don't want to make it mandatory, they should at least make it optional so that the active players who do want to switch can switch. Like, I wish, I feel so bad for the free-to-play players because trust me, when it comes to queen carries and elites, we have been trying, but it is just impossible because of server population. So I'm so sorry to you guys that are out there struggling in the streets. Don't lose hope, I swear, keep playing. I'm asking you not to lose hope. It is unfortunate. But, for example, we're gonna go Queen Meridia, Lost Ruins, Promised Neverland. Promised Land. It's coming very soon for us, it seems. And just because of the timeline that it was released here in CN, it's going to be once a month. Yeah. You know what? If you're watching the stream and you've never played Crystal of Atlan, and you're thinking of playing Crystal of Atlan, my number one advice, 1, play the game. 2, play the game on Eudora 1 or even Eudora 2. There you go. That's your advice. That's your advice. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. But there's my advice. The game is easy. The game is fun. The game is everything. Hello. But just start on Eudora 1, start on Eudora 2. I don't want to shoot down the other servers because, again, there are amazing people in the other servers. But I'm also saying that, like, if you want activity, it's like, I feel so bad because there's so many nice people on other servers. There's so many nice fleets on other servers. But if you're wanting the most populated server, and you're wanting these raids, like if you are interested in participating in these raids and getting those 1K clears ASAP, then like obviously you want to go with the more populated servers. Actually, I don't know. Is Eudora 2 even that populated? I think Eudora 2 is famous because Souped is on that. Souped is on that server, but on its own, is it actually an active server? I do know Eudora 6 does have a bunch of active people, but I do think that's its fleet. Yeah, can you imagine? I'd have felt so bad if you had not clicked on the stream and you're like, I'm gonna go for Eudora 10. Thank you, thank you. Good luck. Okay. They got Apparition, yeah, World Carver. World Carver is that ancient battlefield god that scares me every time I see him. And I do think Eudora 2 is active. I do think Eudora 2 is actually rather active. I shouldn't shoot that down right away. I do know that... Hold on. I can look at this because of the leaderboards here. What is Astralis? That's Eudora 4. I was told Eudora 4 is also decently active, but that is more active in terms of BR players, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I'm pretty sure. I wish this told me what Eudora this was on. I do think Astralis was Eudora 7. Not 7, oh my god, Eudora 4. Does this even tell me? Oh, I don't want to report them. Oh crap. Yeah, and then this is Eudora 2. Is this their big? Hello, everybody. So, I do believe this is Eudora 2. Soul Society is Eudora 2. Oh no is Eudora 4. Hi, Heda is Eudora 6. But yes. I do think in terms of activity, Eudora 4 is more active with BR players. But it is unfortunate. I do think server merging, despite all of that, needs to be a thing. I mean, this is not even like a speculation. This is like a must. On the joint siege page, can I? Let me see this. Oh, you're so right. Thank you. Yeah, okay. So I was right. Eudora 4, Eudora 2, Eudora 6. I mean, Eudora 5 is kind of pushing here, I'm not gonna lie. Although, yeah. I mean, my tongue's out and everything. I guess I can't say it's like that bad, but again, fleet content's very different because you have a niche selection of like 150 players per fleet. So it is a very niche selection of things. But in terms of raid content, I do know there's unfortunately servers struggling. So, if you do see a survey in the future, I am the captain of eminence. Wow, guys. That's me. You don't see it, but I'm saluting right now. But yes. So, I do think if you ever see a survey, if you ever see, like, if you are the type of person like me to just complain directly to the devs and write tickets, literally just say, hey, server merging. If anything, a petition should be eventually made for this, because I don't think the devs realize how important this is. But I digress. It was not Money Max. Money Max is just one of the many big whales that we have in the server. Actually, Hextras Pieces. See, this is where's Shu? I shared everything, Shu. I've shared everything. I've shared, for those of you who haven't seen it, new CN mount, Hamlet raid. I mean, there wasn't much to share for the Hamlet raid. It is literally just a glorified pawn raid with challenges, is the TLDR. And then I went back and I shared a bit about the pets. And then we went over classes, just some of the new classes, and now we're going over timeline. They do know that some people don't know, the devs aren't communicating. So, timeline with raids, and approximately my estimation on when we are going to be getting things. I probably won't be playing too much this stream. I'm just going to be going over things. But back to the raids here. So I do think after explaining why server merging is so important, we can go over the raids. Because we do obviously have a long lineup of raids, and I want to say it's going to come out once every month and a half. Pushing it at 2 months, and again, that is because I do think that if they're going to plan on delaying a raid longer, it's going to be because they have filler content, like the Hamlet raid, Legend raids. Thank you so much for the follow. Legend raids and stuff like that. Also, Jazz just stepped down just because of, I'm more of like a people person. Jazz still does have a hand on how Eminence is being run, by the way. He is just more or less focused and oriented on the more competitive side of things. He wants to focus on just being, like, competitive. He wants to be competitive, but for the longevity of not even just Eminence, but for the importance of, like, kind of how you want to run things, is we want to obviously focus on community orientation. We want to make it so, you know, not just the top of the top is doing their thing, but also to be sure that people who are not whales, are free-to-play players, are also equally being taken care of. So this allows him to go and be competitive to his heart's desire. And then, obviously, I run a lot of things for COA. Like, I run the community Discord for COA. I now run Eminence for Eudora 1. It's just in terms of, like, hey, I have the ability to do that, and I can. And I can help bring together community events. Like, I commentate for COA PvP tournaments. And now I'm streaming for COA. This game... I do a lot more for this game than it does for me. This game gives me the worst luck in the world for how much I do for it. It's kind of crazy. But yes. Very much so. It wasn't any, like, crazy reason. It literally was just because he wants to focus on competitive stuff. But he does have a hand in that. Dude, I'm doing this for free. I'm doing the jobs the devs should be doing. I'm not trying to flex here, guys, but seriously. When your player base is the one sharing all this information that the devs should be doing, it's a little bit rusty there. It's not too good. I digress, though. Someone has to do it. But yes. I mean, that being said, if you're watching the stream and you're not so much involved in the community, if you're not playing the game, like, if you're wanting to get involved in things, so for the community server, if you're only in the main server, there is a North American community server that I run for all the Eudoras. I do like to say that in terms of content, in terms of events, and in terms of community participation and actual, like, stuff happening, that would be us. I'm not trying to diss the official server, but they definitely aren't as communicative or as helpful. But if you're looking to join that is discord.gg/Eudora01. But it is for everybody. It's just a North American server. It's for everyone. Jom, Ellie, we've got everybody. For competitive content, I also do help run the PvP tournaments for both North America and EU. So, regardless of whether or not... Oh my god. Regardless of whether or not you're EU watching, if you're NA watching this, there is competitive PvP tournaments for both of y'all that I also help commentate for. They're bi-weekly tournaments. And for EU, there is a $300 3v3 tournament coming up. But for North America, there is the 1v1s bi-weekly, and hopefully eventually in the future there will also be the big 3v3 for North America. What else is there? And I've been in Eudora 1 as well. There's the Eminence Fleet. Also, yes, Tony has one. But you know what? You know what? I actually know. If you're North America and you're watching this and you like PvP, apply for the PvP tournaments. Seriously. Like, I am begging you at this point. Tony is such a good player. Tony is an amazing player. He is a formidable opponent, but he has won 3 times in a row. I need someone to take him down, bro. Like, Tony is great. Love Tony. But somebody needs to take Tony down, dude. I need to see it. I need to see anybody take him down. Please, I'm begging. I'm on my knees at this point. I need to see somebody beat him. He has crawled back from losers finals like an insane amount. Regardless. Yapping here. Raids. Raids. We've got the raids here. These raids actually do have 24 runs. There are certain raids that I actually do know a little bit about. Oh man, what is it? Some of these raids only come with monikers. Some of these raids only come with titles. I do believe 24 raids, top 24 to get titles and monikers. Oh man. I'm stuck between, I do believe the Prisoner of Consciousness. Isn't that one that is like a title? No, it's a moniker. Shit, dude, which one is it? I literally was just looking at this the other day too. But raids are pretty straightforward. In terms of showing off raids, I'm going to actually not show them off. Okay, so they're all titles. Okay, perfect. The only exception. Okay, perfect. I wasn't wrong. Okay. So with raids, I am not going to so much show like the actual raids themselves until we get either the leak that these are coming soon. So like the Hamlet one. Like obviously I showed this because it is confirmed that we are getting this. But these are all the runes. These are all the raids. Lost Runes, Apocalypse, obviously, Giant Kraken, Shadow Black Nest. It's pretty self-explanatory. They're raids. They're coming out. They're going to be here. We're gonna fight for them. Yippee. Pets. I love pets. Now again, the timeline for pets has been a little bit different for us. Because obviously the Krista Fox did not come out so early. I don't even know when Cowboy came out for them. There's not even a timeline for Cowboy. Is this Cowboy? Why is it like this? Is this Cowboy? This looks different. This doesn't look like Cowboy. This looks like Cowboy, but like his twin brother. His twin brother from another mother. Anyways. Point being, timeline for pets is a little bit complicated. Simply just because obviously we'd be getting things in a different like streamline of things. Like we obviously haven't been getting things exactly the same. But pets to look forward to is all I'm here for. Because look at these. Are these not the cutest things ever? Are these? I mean, okay. Obviously the snowman's probably going to come out this December. And then I'm going to assume this dragon potentially will be coming out around Chinese New Year. I like I said earlier, in terms of New Year's content, it's going to be heavily dependent on whether or not they're going to go off of North American New Year's or if they're going to stick with it remaining to be Chinese New Year's. But with the theme of the game, I'm going to assume they're going to continue with New Year stuff being Chinese New Year's related. But the panda, like, come on, is this not like the cutest thing ever? Obviously, if you're wanting to go through like the stats on your own, like if you're wanting to read all of these stats, obviously you can either sneakily read your way through my ears here as I go through it, or again, this CN timeline is pinned in the community Discord server, the discord.gg/Eudora01. So this is pinned in the CN discussion. So if you really, really want to go through all of this, like in great detail, it is there for you. We've got Phoenix pets. These pets here, the Crystal Wolf especially, these are big pets. This is not little baby pet. These are big pets. Massive. But these pets right here, these end pets, are where we kind of get into the more big, expensive, cool pets. But I do think, obviously, because we're even getting the 2 Digimon pets. Meta. Good question. We haven't gotten any information on skills of Digimon pets, by the way, so if you're worried on whether or not they're going to be good, we don't quite know. When I get more information on the Digimon pet skills, I will just be showing that in stream again. I do believe, I mean, I've heard from different sources what is meta in CN. I have heard people say that the Manta Ray, this guy right here, he's meta. I've also heard people say that the Dragon and the Crystal Wolf are meta. But, I mean, I think meta for whales and meta for free-to-play players are very 2 different things. Especially at this level. And then here, I will actually go over the stats of Tatsumaki. So, for us, Tatsumaki was not this good. Obviously, they had to balance it with our current level. But Tatsumaki does 3,780 damage. Like, percent. That's not, like, clean damage, that's a percent damage. So, it's a little rough. But to be fair, in CN, she was an insanely expensive pet. Thank you for the follow, thank you so much. Versus here, she was like $50. Why did I get into COA and what did I play before? I got into COA because arguably in the current economy of MMOs, this is the closest thing we are going to get to like an OG anime MMO. Like, I'm not just talking L-Sword days, I'm talking like if anyone knows what the game Eden Eternal is, if anybody even remembers what Eden Eternal is, that was like an MMO I loved a lot. Like, that game is insanely similar to this game in terms of the energy system, in terms of like money, in terms of gacha, in terms of just all of the kind of things that I enjoy in an anime MMO. I used to play L-Sword as well. But I obviously, that's a grind and a half. And I did not want to continue playing the game just because it wasn't something I found enjoyable. And then I randomly saw an ad for COA. Like, it literally random scroll. I saw the Berserker. And I was like, that is such a cool character design. It has been a while. Like, the Berserker is such a basic class. But I don't see him anymore. Like, I literally do not see a Berserker anymore. It was always, like, OG anime games that always, like, loved the Berserker. So then I found this game, and I was like, great. I'll just no-life myself on this one. Blue Protocol is also a game that I'm probably going to dabble into once it comes out. Fully. But I won't stop playing Crystal of Atlan, I don't think. And I only say this because Crystal of Atlan is a great example of a side game. Now, don't tell the devs I said that. I feel like that's gonna be a little bit insulting to say about a game, but this game is like my side piece. You know what I'm saying? This game's content isn't so overwhelming that I need to like no-life it like an MMO like Job Arc or Path of Exile 2. I really had to no-life those games. This is a game where if I wanted to, I really only need to play a couple hours a day. And I can go play whatever else I want. For the remainder of the time. Like, I can actually like, go touch grass and stuff. And not worry about falling behind. And I think that's the great luxury of being able to play this game too so early on. is that, like, you don't really fall behind on anything if you're, like, at least being a semi-active player. So when Blue Protocol comes out, I will probably play it, but I will do it after I'm done. Like, I'll get on COA, I'll do my dailies, I'll do my stuff, I'll go play Blue Protocol. I'll probably stream that too. Like, I don't plan on only ever streaming COA. Like, I wanted to get into other MMOs like Blue Protocol, or getting into the completely different genre, like, even playing, like, was going to try playing the next beta of Battlefield 6. But it is what I currently play. I also have never played a game called Onigiri. I played some niche games, but I have heard of Onigiri, although I've never played it. Job arc, yes. But yeah, I do think that COA is a good side game to get into. Like, especially if you have a job. I think the luxury of playing these types of MMOs is, like, jobs, especially at our age. Because believe it or not, the demographic of COA I thought was going to be pretty ranged, but after running the community server since this game has started, a lot of the players are much older. It's like, I'm talking 21 plus. A good majority of the players are much older. Like, a large portion of the community. Also, for PvP content, oof. Thank you so much for the follow. I would still argue, I would say, actually, let me see what server he's currently in. Listen, compared to what I thought the demographic of this game was going to be, I thought it was going to be a majority of, like, teens. I'm very surprised to see that a lot of the players range anywhere between, like, 20 to, like, I've met people that are in their 50s playing this game. But I do think that attributes to how nostalgic it is in its own sense of the way. And I think it's very cool. But in terms of PvP, which I'm not, ranked match, crossover rankings, I wanted to see what he is. Yeah, so it depends. For the PvP scene, I wouldn't say it insanely matters at all, because PvP is cross-server. PvP is going to be cross-server. But I'm talking, if you're wanting to play against players that are constantly rank 1, like, you want to be beating, like, the rank 1s in your own server, I would say Eudora 1, like, obviously Eudora 1, here you have Eudora 2, because when I run PvP tournaments, I see a consistent amount of players, like Hato, Tony, Buttons, Jinx here, Taiwan. So 1, 2, or it even seems like 4. Yeah, it even seems like 4. 1, 2, or 4, it looks like. If you're actually wanting to play, like, yeah, you want to just chill in the hundreds, yeah, then I'd say, yeah, I'd say 1, 2, or 4. I really would. I'd say 1, 2, or 4. I don't think it really matters because everything's cross-server, but if you're representing a server, and if you ever get bored of PvP and want to go participate in PvE content, 1, 2, 4, or even 6. I don't think it really matters for PvP though. Because even the tournaments that is held for PvP, they're cross-server. So there's no worry there. I'm doing no PvE or PvP. I'm doing future content discussion. So, but yeah. That's gonna be exciting. Meta. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Eudora 1. Let's go. Alright, let's get back to the timeline. Here we go. With timeline stuff. Back again. But here's a good example of Tatsumaki ultimately being, like, why she was so expensive in CN. And this is the difference. do not think that I do not think that they're ever going to, like, let's say we finally get to the level 80 cap. I don't think they're ever going to boost Tatsumaki to match Xian's, unfortunately. Well, maybe they will. I don't know. Maybe they will. But since it was a one-time collab thing, I don't think they're going to rerun the collab. I don't think that, honestly, they're going to balance Tatsumaki, unfortunately. The only way I can see collabs being rebalanced, like, this is the only way that I could see. So when it comes to collabs in games, here's a little bit of game knowledge for you, okay, guys? So if you're ever playing a game like Dead by Daylight, if you're ever playing a game like, what is it? Dead by Daylight, Fortnite, even a game like this, or if you've ever played summoning games like Summoner's War, they'll do big collabs with big companies, right? There's two types of licenses you can get as a game company when collaborating. There is permanent license and there's temporary license. Now, in terms of, I'll try to use a couple different examples of two of them. So let's use the example of Dead by Daylight when they had their Stranger Things collab. That was a temporary license originally. That means that when they collabed with them, when it first came out, it could only exist for a certain period of time. Meaning that it's like, hey, you can sell this collab for 4 months. And then after 4 months, those items can still exist in the game. You just can't keep continuing to make money off of us. Which is why the Dead by Daylight collab with Stranger Things ended and they weren't able to get that license back. For example, another one would be if you've ever played Fortnite is also a good example. They do a lot of collabs. A lot of collabs. But there were temporary collabs that they did for companies that, like, for Resident Evil, for Street Fighter. So when you have those collabs, I'm trying to think of the company. The company's on the tip of my tongue. It's Bandai, right? Yes, Bandai. Yes. No, yes. Okay. But point being is that most companies release temporary license and then that license expires and they no longer can sell that license anymore. And in order to be able to resell it, they need to renew that license with that company. So, coming back to COA is the only way that I can see them upgrading the Tatsumaki pet later on to be cost effective to their money or for them to even care is if this wasn't a temporary license. If they collabed with One Punch Man and it is a thing where they can rerun this collab at any given point that they want, there could be a possibility where they do, once we get the level cap, rerun the collab. They'll redo it, they'll have another event for their collabs, and you can get the pet at that current level. If this was a temporary license where they cannot rerun this, I highly doubt they're going to improve her stats to match Cien's. At all. So. Also, by the way, there's 2 Digimon mounts. In case you didn't know. Do I have the pictures of them? There's 2. So exciting. I actually hope there's 2. Because we were only shown this one for global. I do not know why we were only shown this one for global. But this one was shown to CN. But because I would assume that the collabs are just going to be 2 mounts, 2 pets. Gatomon. And I'm blanking out. Dude, I love Digimon. Why am I forgetting his name? Why am I forgetting the evil little dinosaur's name? I love Digimon too. But, yeah. Point being, 2 pets. One of the pets is a pink pet. One of the pets is going to be an orange pet. So Gatomon's actually going to be the pink pet from what we've seen. Listen, don't quote me on it, But from the CN videos that I've seen of people sharing the information on this, is that Gatomon's actually just going to be a pink pet. So I do think he's going to be more cost effective. Where... Actually, you know what I'm going to assume? I assume that Gatomon, they're going to have a separate Digimon battle pass like they did with the One Punch Man. And Gatomon's going to be on that. That's my estimation. Come back in the future and tell me if I was right. And then flying mounts. But yes, I don't think that they're going to improve Tatsumaki, which is unfortunate. And I'm sorry to everyone, including myself, who bought Tatsumaki. Unless they decide to rerun collabs. Unfortunately. Yeah, clipped, and I'm gonna be wrong. But here, we have great examples here of kind of event content. Now, here's where timeline differs. Because I do believe we are getting the card system on the 21st. Thank you so much for the follow, by the way. We're going to be getting the card system on the 21st of this month. And then I don't even know. Are we getting the imprints? The pet imprints? This is what I want to know. Is if we're also getting that around the same time. Actually, we should be. No, I think... Are you sure? That's interesting. That is actually so interesting that they're skipping out on that. Because we have Hamlet here. And then we have the card system here. But we are completely jumping or completely skipping the pet soul print. Okay, yeah, that's what I assumed. They're changing order of stuff, unfortunately. They're being funky about it. Or maybe they're gonna, like, just, like, surprise. And they'll be like, surprise, guys! We actually lied to you. This is a new thing. Congratulations. We have Void Corridor. Well, that's going to... Actually, I'm gonna assume I'm gonna give this, like, a month as well. I'm gonna give this coming out in a month. I'm gonna give this a month. This is probably gonna come out in a month. Well, that's my estimation, guys. Does it actually? Is this... So I wasn't wrong, I guess. Oh, is that the... Oh my god, guys. I'm right. Petzl? It's like... How do you even explain... Oh, sick, the roguelike mode. How do I explain? It's like, make your pets better. Like, well, mildly better. Like, I'm not saying it's gonna make or break a pet, but it's like, here's... If you've ever played a game, I'd argue it to, like, the runing system. If you've ever played a game with, like, runes or pieces, yeah. But... I mean, it's kind of OP, but it's not going to, like, make or break anything. I mean, obviously, it's gonna make things stronger. Like, obviously. But, I mean, well, I guess I can't argue that because insignias do the same thing. And insignias are make or break overall. Oh, dang it, I can't even say that with this game. I want to say things aren't make or break, but then it's like, insignias are make or break too. Circuits. It's like small boosts that add up. You know what I'm saying? Does this make sense what I'm saying? Like, they do... It does make a difference over time. I can't say that it doesn't make a difference. The road to kingship. Oh man, I forgot about this. The road to kingship, which is like, you're going through the hex chest bosses. Fun. I want to, as much as this is an event, I want to say that this is like the... I don't know why. I would consider this more or less along the same line of, like, kind of slightly different. I'm getting sent stuff, guys. Real time. Send me things for kingship. Okay, I'll come back to kingship then. But I want to say that this is, like, slightly less than a raid, but more than stuff like Hamlet here. Like, Hamlet is, like, again, that's the filler content I'm talking about here. It's like Hamlet. Equipment engraving and level 70 update. So, with the current timeline of things that are going right now, I want to say that level 70, like, I don't want to give people's hopes up here. Like, I don't want to say something and be completely wrong. But with the current speed of things, with Assassin probably being announced on... I was literally just about to say that. Because I was gonna say, I'd be surprised if there wasn't an Assassin announcement on the 21st or after the 21st, because the Mistrix ends on the 21st. Yeah. Because the Mistrix ends on the 21st, which is when that new big update is coming out. And then, if I'm not mistaken, they're literally gonna either announce Assassin when that happens, or if, like, a couple days to a week after that happens, and be like, hey guys, Assassin's rolling out, surprise, surprise, like, soon, and then they're gonna do the pre-register thing, and then 2 weeks after that. That's why I think on the 21st, they're probably going to say something. Hopefully. Maybe. You know, there's a lot of times I hope the devs will say anything, and they don't say anything. So, let me take a peek. What am I being sent? The Road to Kingship. Yeah. I'm excited for level 70. I think that's gonna... I think it's more important to push that out sooner than later. But Assassin, I do think 21st. Actually, I'm gonna quote me on that. I'm gonna write that down. Let me write this down right now. You know what I'm gonna put down? I clicked my pen. 21st. Yeah, this is it. I'm gonna write this down. That's when I think we're gonna get any news on Assassin. And if I'm wrong, I'm gonna open up my next stream around that time is gonna be an apology. Yeah, the Starlight system. Is there anyone even a part of that? I need to know. Is there anyone here a part of the Starlight system? And, like, that actively participates in it? They do? I need, like, an active participant who knows. Like, they're the ones that get communicated to. Is it even worth it? What do you get? Do they actually talk to you? Do they tell you secret insider things? Oh, hell yeah. You use it for complaining? Using for complaining? I like that. I would too. Dude. Dude, Gold Miner is going crazy. I would love to know. Oh, this is so cool. Hold on, guys. I'm actually gonna share this as well. Okay, I like this. I like this. I like this. I like this. Okay. Okay, guys. Okay. You see this? Alright, perfect. So we're gonna go back here. Road to Kingship. Okay. Road to Kingship. Alright. The title for it, for being rank 1 and Road to Kingship, is this beautiful title. Oh, dang it, now I want it. This beautiful title, which, according to class, the wording on it changes according to class, but everything else stays the same. Like the effect and everything. This is beautiful. I love this. Oh, yeah, future titles. That's something I should grab pictures on. It's rank 1 on speedrunning. Dude. You know what? I'm gonna grab next time. I'm going to grab, for the next stream, if you guys are interested in seeing more of the stuff that we're gonna get, I'm going to go and grab the pictures of all the titles for you guys. And I'm gonna share that next time. I'm gonna share all the titles and what all the titles are for. The ones that we don't have. I'm not going over the monikers. I'll go over the titles. I'm not going over the monikers. Perfect. So we got the level 70 stuff. Obviously, Fleet Eudora. This is just forming a fleet, is it not? No, it's not. Let me read this. No, this is... No, this is a completely different thing. Oh, cool. So fleet updates. New skills. Ah, yes. You know what? I can show that too. I have a video for that. I've got a video for that, guys. "70 skills." Where is it? Alright, guys. And plus, with the new level updates, we are getting new skills. Okay, okay. And now I'm gonna let you guys watch this. I'm gonna let you guys see the new skills. Because I think this is fun. I do think new skills is like going to diversify content and player interactions with bosses, i.e. how we play and our rotations. So obviously the meta is going to change with skill rotations with new skills, and I actually am excited for that. So I do think the meta should change eventually. And I mean, like, who doesn't like seeing their character do, like, sick new things? Like, tell me this isn't sick. Tell me this isn't cool. This is level 65 and 70 skills, by the way, in case you guys were wondering. So with the new level cap, this is the new skills we're going to be getting. Like, tell me this isn't so cool. I love it so much. Are you talking in terms of PvP characters or PvE-wise? Because those two characters are very different PvP and PvE-wise. Oh, the Warlock is so cool. I love the Warlock as a class. Such a cool class. Look at this. He gets to fly around and everything. PvP-wise, I'd argue Swordsman is the better class to go with. Like, I want to say that Fighter is a good class PvP, and it is, where it is, but in terms of what class struggles more, I'd say Fighter struggles a bit more. Starbreaker is a very popular PvP class, but because of how overplayed it was in the beginning by a good majority of the player base, unfortunately, let me pause this. Unfortunately, the Starbreaker is like an easy counter class. I do think that a lot of the bigger players in the top 100 know how to play against Starbreaker relatively well because of how much she was played. Cloudstrider is a fighter class. I play Cloudstrider, and she's a good class. She's a great class, all-around class. But in terms of PvP content, I want to say she's good, but she has a learning curve, and she's a very meticulous character. And again, she's one of those characters that, like, she has some insanely good moves, but if you're playing in the top 100, the chances of those people knowing how to easily counter those moves is, like, large. So with Cloudstrider, one of her big moves, everyone calls it the sun. She jumps up and she does massive damage. It's one of her strongest moves that can be canceled mid-animation. Very easily so. And it can also be dodged very easily so. If you know what's happening, you can dodge it very easily. And top 100 players know how to do that. So she really does, like, she's great in PvP. I think one of our top 3v3 players is a Cloudstrider, but she does have her downfalls. And then you get to the Swordsman. So Magiblade is a really, really good PvP class. But again, he has a learning curve. But he is one of the fastest classes that we have. One of, in terms of PvP, he's insanely fast. Like, he is insanely fast and kind of does rely on being in the air a lot. And he relies on keeping a distance between you and your opponent. Berserker is the complete opposite of that. Berserker is very tanky in PvP, but he very much needs to rely on being close to whatever it is that he's going against. So, he closes that distance between him and Mine Wars. Okay, hold on. He closes that distance between him and the actual player. It depends how you want to play, because Tony is one of our top players for PvP, and Tony is a berserker. But he's also got some, like, crazy berserker tech. Believe it or not, the berserker has tech, guys. They've got some, like, crazy cancels and tech that they do to make that class really good. But Season 1, Magiblade was, like, our top. And one of our top BR players was also a berserker. But we do have some high-ranking Starbreaker. Dispel is a high-rank Starbreaker. As for Cloudstrider, do we have a high-rank Cloudstrider right now? I think we have one. But if you're asking me, I would go for Swordsman, just because I'm biased to that class. But I don't think the Fighter is a bad option either. Just understand, if you're going Starbreaker, a lot of PvPers already know how to counter her very easily. And if you're going Cloudstrider, she's a very meticulous character. Ah, which has the cuter cosmetics? Not Cloudstrider. Not Cloudstrider. Cloudstrider does not have cute cosmetics. Not at all. Fighter's cosmetics, I'm gonna say it right here, right now, awful. And they remain awful. They remain awful. Gosh, Fighter's awful. Yeah, I could get you a link to this video, of course. Account-wide, cosmetics are not account-wide. They're character-locked, unfortunately. So, when you get a cosmetic skin, you can switch it between characters until you apply it to a character. Does that make sense? And then it becomes specific to that class. So the outfit remains for everybody, but until I lock it to that specific class, it can be shared between everybody. Unfortunately. I do think in future, by the way, like, the swordsman class does get cool cosmetics. I wouldn't call them cute. If you want cute cosmetics, that would be the puppeteer. The puppeteer is the one who gets the very cute cosmetics. The swordsman gets very cool cosmetics. In terms of PvP cosmetics, though, the elementalist gets way cooler or not elementalist, the magister gets way cooler. Like, way cooler cosmetics. Yes, they have Gunnar cosmetics. If you are wanting Gunnar cosmetics, it is the fighter class. It is the fighter class. All the way. I don't even think I can show it on stream. Can I show? I don't even think I'd be allowed to show the fighter cosmetics on stream. Like, that is how bad it is. I'm not gonna risk it. Should I risk it? I could show you. But I feel like I'm, like, risking... I don't know if I can. Okay. You know what? I'll show you the example of just the bathing suit skins. Okay, perfect. So, let me throw myself into Mind Wars while we're here, though. You guys can see me be slightly average at Mind Wars. Okay. 12? What kind of mega giga whale? I don't want to look at Fleet Chat. They're roasting me right now. You know what? That's it. I'm looking at Fleet Chat. I'm looking. Oops. I have a video going on in the background. Okay. Actually, before I get distracted, let me show you these cosmetics. Okay? In the game fleet chat. I don't know what y'all are saying. Okay. Let's look, guys. Alright. Because I've got a lot. So this is cute. Okay, I wouldn't say this is too goonerish. I think... Oh, all the 60Ks? Yeah, no. I don't know what kind of giga mega whales are going into Mine Wars right now. But the main... the main outfit for that fighter got... The main outfit that fighter got for the beach outfits... You know, it wasn't a cute little hat. It wasn't... Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's an outfit. There's fabric there. There's fabric. You know, she's... I can't, dude. You know why I can't? You know why I can't? Because look at this. I mean, listen, this is... I wouldn't say this isn't goonerish as well. This definitely is, like... This definitely is goonerish. But at least it's a real bathing suit. You know what I'm saying? At least it's a real bathing suit. Please. What is this? What is it? You know, what is this? Like... you can't even swim in this. You can't even swim. Like... Okay, I'm going to the beach. All it takes is one wave, and this outfit is gone. This outfit is getting snatched, bro. One wave, and it's over. Like... Can I even... I don't even think I can show for all the other classes, can I? Oh, I can, yay! Like, look at this. This is, like, cool. You know, he's got, like, a little jacket. He's shirtless or whatever. He's got some headphones. He's got some goggles. You know, he's got his jacket. He's got his beach wear. He's going to the beach. He's got his sandals. You know, she's got a hat. Look at this. This is, like, she's actually going to the beach. These people so far are actually going to the beach. There's this one. This is cute. I like this. I like this one a lot. It's probably one of my favorite outfits. These two. Actually, no. This is my favorite. This is second. What is this? This is not going to the beach. Also, yes, cosmetics do change their hair. So there is different cosmetics for the hair. But for fighter in specific, with the ones that I have, I'd say that her coolest outfit... Oh, I can't even show it. Her coolest outfit is... Here we go. Blessing in the Sky. This is her coolest outfit. I don't like the hair personally, but... This one's very cute too. I'm 50-50 on the Gunner. I actually don't really like the Gunner's version of this. It's alright. The Magister, and then the Swordsman. I think the Swordsman got, like... The Swordsman got completely nerfed with the hair, bro. The poor Swordsman, dude. This hair... I'm sorry, guys. I hate this hair a lot. I think the Swordsman kind of got shafted on the hair here. I don't think he got a... I mean, they did better. They did better here. They did better here. You know. The outfit's nice, though, but the hair is, it's a little goofy. 15?! How did I go up? How did I go up in the... Dude, I'm not getting into this Mine Wars, guys. It's over. I have to leave this up to the... Gonna have to leave this up to the whales in my fleet. You guys got this. Alright, back to the rest of the outfits. We've got... This one outfit's cute for the fighter too. We've got the maid outfit for the fighter class. Mine's died. The Thrill Chaser. I actually really like this outfit. I do think this outfit is absolutely sick for the fighter class. They did a really good job on this one. I like this one a lot. The Golden Veil is another Gunner outfit. I could have sworn I had a golden veil. Do I not? Okay. Well, the golden veil. Mind you, all these outfits can be dyed too, by the way. It just costs a little bit more money. The golden veil for the fighter is also a Gunnar outfit. And then the Serene Harmony. She's got quite a few recolors of this outfit too. But the issue here, okay, is that her outfits do not get better. Future content, if you're not, I don't like Gunnar outfits, okay? Especially when you compare it to every other class's outfit. In terms of outfits, the fighter class really does kind of get shafted in terms of creativity. Like the neon line is an example of an outfit that's currently out for CN. And the fighter class gets mega shafted for that. So while we're waiting for Mine Wars here, we go back into this. Card system, first anniversary, we actually did get the bathing suit and stuff like that. So what we're going to get for our first anniversary might be different from what they ended up getting for their first anniversary. So I wouldn't rely too heavily on this. Obviously, earlier in the stream, we talked about role class transformations. Yes, of course, you enjoy yourself. I'm glad I could help. We talked about role class transformation. So this is going to be coming out, I actually do think very soon after Assassin is unlocked from being class changed. Armor engravings. We're going into that. Obviously, now we're getting into... I might leave this stuff for when we're actually a little bit farther. Because these systems become a little bit more complicated. But we're getting new stuff, I guess, is to be excited about. Getting into the Godhead system. Obviously, this isn't, like, too crazy. There's just challenges. More events. I want to get into these. But I think I'll get more into them when we get information on our level 70 cap. The Road to Kingship 2, we talked about that earlier, which is basically fighting against the Hex Chest bosses, speedrunning, getting titles, their challenges, kind of like how the Hamlet boss we're getting here. And the level 80 update, the fusion technique. Oh, there's the fusion stuff. Like, again, like... I want to get deep into this, but I only think it's fair that when this stuff comes to fruition, I will go more in detail on these, rather than briefly explaining all these systems right here, right now. So if you are interested in more of these stuff, like I said, I will, every time I get something new, I'm going to come on to stream, and I'm going to share it with everybody. Like with the Digimon collab, hopefully the next thing I'll be sharing is the pet stats and everything, and going over what is worth it for free-to-play players, what is not worth it for free-to-play player, low spenders, kind of stuff like that. So that's if you're interested in. I will get more into this in the future. Second anniversary, we are nowhere near that. No need to worry about that. Refining equipment, and then obviously the new stuff that they got in CN. They got the home system. They now have houses in CN, guys. Isn't that so cool? I wish we had houses. But yes. They have houses in CN and like a house system, which I also think is a very fun thing to look forward to. Because it's not often we get that kind of stuff in a game like this. I actually kind of assumed that it was always going to be the same. But seeing that they're updating major systems, so I do want to call all the equipment stuff major systems, but it really isn't like a major thing. It's just refining existing things that we already have. But to get something as big as a home system, that is like a major change to the game. And is actually something to look forward to. Because if they're willing to go into more complicated systems like that, then they're willing to do a lot more for the game, which is why I'm optimistic here. And I also say, hey, don't give up on the game yet, guys. Because as someone who helps develop games, and I'm going to say this 101 times, just so you know that I'm coming from a place of like, hey, I know how difficult this process is. Making refining systems such as engravings and boosts and stuff like that. Oh wow, it already ended. Boosts and stuff like that is not a complicated process. It really isn't. Those are easy additions to a game that it does not cost much to add. But when we're getting into things such as housing systems, in on top of implementing an entirely new function to the game that operates and exists on its own, that is where things get majorly complicated and it becomes extremely hard to add those things into games. And to see that the game developers, even 3 years later in CN, are still adding major systems, I'm telling you now, is a very good sign that they do care about their game because of how much money it will cost them in the long run of things. Which is why I say that housing system was not only such a cool... Also, hello, Shu. Was also not such a cool... Or was such a cool addition to the game. It also tells you where the priorities lie for the game developers in terms of expanding the game. So, if things go well in global... Thank you so much for the follow, by the way. I appreciate that so much. But if things go well in global, we're actually going to see, like, a very, very, very good chance that this game is going to last a while. Yeah, and again, if the housing system isn't a pay-to-win thing, I have not checked too far on the housing system, considering it just came out, and I'm more, like, focusing on, like, global stuff here. But yes, in terms of game development, everyone should be happy that the housing system did come out, because that just means that the game developers are interested in pushing this game beyond just being raids. Like, I'm not saying they're gonna go, like, above and beyond and make an entire open world system and it's gonna go crazy and it's gonna be mind-boggling. But I'm saying that they're willing to implement very complicated systems into a game that is going to cost them a lot more money than just implementing a raid. Good signs, good progress. We love that. We love that for this game, and I do hope that global succeeds enough for those systems to also grow here in, obviously, NA and EU. That being said, if they don't make a few of the changes like server merging, I do have skepticism how long that's going to last for us. But optimism, if the player base complains enough, we'll obviously get hopefully a better result. And a better global team. They really need a better global team. Or at least they need to better communicate to their content creators. They need to expand, not just to YouTubers or not just to streamers, but they also need to get in touch with their community again. But I'm optimistic. Hopefully. I'm not. But yeah, the housing system, if I'm not mistaken, is like a Pal World system. I could be wrong, but what I remember, it is kind of like Pal World. You like send your pets to go work for you. You send your pets to go work for you. It's oh, goodness me. Oh, see, you know what? Here's an example of what I was talking about. In terms of, like, player base is not very happy with... Okay, you know what? Maybe I should close this. But player base is not very happy with server population. So I do feel as though maybe in the future I will make a petition for the community server. But yes, house system is... What's it again? What's the game? I literally just said the game. Pal World. Pal World. It's like a Pal World system. You force your pets to work. It's so... At least your pets will be useful, guys. You know? At least your pets that you don't use, you gotta put the polar rabbit to work. Bye-bye, polar rabbit. Like, look. Look at him. He looks like he's made... He looks like he's like a good worker. That's what I'm gonna say. He looks like he's a good worker. You know what I'm saying? He looks like he's made for more than just sitting in my inventory and being useless. And with the housing system... Housing? With the housing system, they will be more useful. Huh. But I think I've gone over everything for the leaks. And for the information and for the updates and for everything we've gotten so far. I think I have covered the basis on everything that we know so far. The stream wasn't gonna be such a long stream. I just wanted to go over everything. So, where I'm gonna go from here. I will be doing a stream every second day. If I continue to get more information out on future information, future stuff, if I get the Digimon stuff, once I get information on pet stats and stuff like that, that will be done in stream. So if this is the stuff that you are interested in seeing in terms of COA content, I will continue to do this. I will continue to update on everything that I find. So if you follow, hopefully the next stream I'll have more information on Digimon stuff and future of that new update we're getting coming out. Otherwise, I'm probably going to actually play this game. They actually touch playing this game. And not just standing here yapping about updates. But, I digress. That is all for me for now. Thank you all so much for tuning into the stream. I hope next time I'll actually have some more information on the Digimon stuff and future stuff. Battlefield 6. Yeah, guys, I'm going to come back. I'm going to be playing Battlefield 6 while talking about Crystal of Atlan. It's going to be great. I actually might play a different game next time if I don't have more information to drop for you guys on Crystal of Atlan stuff. I will also be hopefully streaming the Glen Cup. Participation in the Glen Cup, I'm probably going to be just silent streaming the information there. Oh no. I'm waiting. I'm not clicking end stream yet. Waiting. The mount ability. His, hunting instinct. I do think we went... Yeah, we went over that. Yeah, we went over that here earlier. And how the second, mount's ability is going to be the exact same. So even Metal Garo, he's gonna have the same hunting instinct ability. It doesn't change between the two mounts. Woohoo! So lots to look forward to. Alright. I actually go drink water. I actually go touch grass. I hope to see y'all again next time. Bye-bye!